Evening, everybody. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's been a fun day for me. Lots of parcels have been arriving. A couple of different occasions on the dips recently. I bought large numbers of 90% US half dollars. Here I've got, I think, 50 1964 Kennedy half dollars. They just came in. I need to test them with my Sigma. And recently we had a discussion about testing with the Sigma and how many coins you could test in 1 minute. So I stepped up to that challenge because I found a way using my Sigma to test pretty quickly, as fast as you see people using the Sigma Basic can be achieved if you use the Sigma wands. This is the large, they call this the large wand. It's actually the medium size. We have the small wand for doing tiny little coins, and this large wand is good for larger coins like these. The third wand is called the Bullion wand, or sometimes it's called the refiner's wand, and that's for testing very large blocks of precious metals. The Bullion wand will test up to 24 millimeters in diameter, and as you can see, there's plenty of room for a 24 millimeter wand here. This is an 18 millimeter wand, but I use this for the junk silver or the constitutional or the 90%, whatever you choose to call it, because the Bullion wand is designed to measure over 10 millimeters thick, so it reads quite deeply into into a sample. These samples are only like 1.5 millimeters thick, and if I use that Bullion wand, it actually reads right through the coin and starts reading the table, and you get all kinds of wacky numbers. So I use this. This is the perfect size for doing bullion. Now, I don't want to mislead anybody. The only way to do a real Sigma test is to use a pro model and use this through testing, where it goes from this sensor down to this sensor in the deck and reads all the way through the sample. Even the Bullion wand, even though it measures, or it can be used on large blocks of silver or gold, it only measures about 25 microns into the surface. But 25 microns is well over 10 times the thickness of most gold or silver plating if electroplating is used. And the only time it's really going to 25 microns is going to be beaten is if somebody has actually drilled out a large block or a large bar and filled the middle with lead or tungsten or brass, and they have somewhat more than 25 microns of gold or silver around the outside. In that case, you really want to use one of these models with the through testing so that you can read all the way through the sample. Anyway, this is not really about the benefits or function of a Sigma. This is just about testing, and it's just a task that I've got to do before I put these half dollars away. So this is how it works. It's all set to go. The green light here means we're connected to the Sigma, and if I read a coin, you can see right here it comes up in the green, tells me that that coin is good. The next one is good, and so on, right? Well, the challenge was how many coins can you test in a minute, and I normally don't do it for speed. I just normally do this for efficiency, and I think the last time I tested bulk junk silver, I did 340 pieces, and the whole job took me 10-15 minutes. So I wasn't really timing it or doing it for speed. I was just trying to get the job done, and I was going slow and steady so that I didn't make any mistakes or miss any suspect coins. Because here's what I do. I test these coins rapidly. You can see the result. If we get anything in the yellow or the red, I just push those coins aside and I test them further after the bulk testing is done. I'll use the Sigma, and there's other tests that if we find some, we'll talk about. Even if I get something right on the line between the yellow and the green, or in the yellow, I'll kick it out for further testing, just to make sure. And the other thing that I've done is I always, because there's the information that's being spread around, or actually it's not spread, it's Sigma Metalytics, the company who makes the Sigma, actually documents that the resistivity of 90% silver is in fact very close to the resistivity of copper-nickel coins. In fact, it's the other way around. When the US government decided to start making copper-nickel coins with no silver in them, they had to make the new coins work in vending machines without having to retrofit or replace all the vending machines that were in the world in 1964. So they did the metallurgy of the copper-nickel silver very, very similar to 90% silver. So as a result, if you don't use multiple forms of testing, it's possible for you to this could all be copper-nickel, and it would pass. And I would think, oh, good, my silver's all good enough. I'd go down my happy way. And, for example, if I wasn't checking the edges to make sure that there was no copper showing, and some other tests, I would not be properly testing my silver. So before I started, I took my wand, my Sigma, I took some of these coins, I took some standard copper-nickel coins, and I compared the results, and I did some other tests that I'll touch on in a few minutes, where you verify your process and therefore ensure that you're doing it right. It's no good doing the whole job and then afterwards wondering, oh gee, I wonder if I did that properly, because you just wasted your time. So anyway, let's get down to it. I'm kind of talking. I'm a little nervous about doing this on the clock. I haven't done this before on the clock. So this is really going to be interesting for me and for you. So let's go. This is a touch screen on this laptop, so I'm just going to go ahead and start the clock, and here we go. Green, 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 green. Oh, there's one. Kick that one out. Green, 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 green. Oh, there's another one. And time. Okay, so I didn't get 4 done, and then we had the few. I'm not sure, I didn't, because of my speed. I'm going to check a few more here again, just to make sure before I go to my testing. I want to make sure that I get the right count of the ones that I did in this test. So if you'll excuse me just for a moment, I just want to verify which ones are these. See, that one was fine. That one was fine. That might have been one of the ones that failed. This is definitely a bad one. Not a bad one, but it's one that needs to be reviewed. Okay, so we've got 4 here that need to be reviewed, and 4 that I didn't get done. So out of 50 coins, I did 42. I successfully tested 42 coins in 1 minute. That's actually a little better than I expected. I expected to be in the 30s. So being in the 40s, even though I was stumbling and bumbling a little bit, I'm pretty happy with that result. Now, just for grins, so I don't have to do this later, I don't know if you can see this. I'm just going to do these 4 that I didn't get to in the test. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I tested all those. This one's interesting. One of the reasons I wanted to test this is, I'm going to see if I can zoom in here a little bit for you. And if I do that, then you might not be able to see some other things. Let's have a look. If you just look at the condition of this one may have read badly just because of the goop that it's got on it, the tarnish and so on. But we'll test it further, just like I was talking about, and we'll go from there. Now, here we go. Here's another problem. Just while we're zoomed in, this just caught my eye with the sun coming in the window there. This coin appears to be damaged. You can pretty clearly see that line there from below the ear to above the eye. I don't know if it's showing on camera very well, but there's clearly some kind of dent in this coin. It almost looks like this coin is deformed all the way through. I don't think I'm going to try and claim that I found, yeah, just there you can see the impression coming from the other side. I'm not going to claim I found a mint error. This damage could easily been done post-minting. But anyway, I wonder if that could be one of the reasons why it didn't read properly on the Sigma. We will find out. So this is what we do. I'm going to unplug the wand, set that aside, and make sure we can see what we're doing here. And I'm just going to do I'm going to calibrate the Sigma. I do it a couple of times just to make sure. And I'm going to test these coins that I kicked out for further testing. Now, you notice the through testing is much slower. But you see right away, as soon as it gets an answer, or a reading, it's in the green. But if I keep my finger there, it moves it over towards the yellow. Now, that's actually still in the green, but I'm going to set that aside for further testing. I just want to make sure. I want to eliminate every chance of any kind of fakes or mistakes. So this one's good. See, when we do the through testing, you see the results we are getting are much more accurate. I'm not too concerned about any of these that are jumping towards the yellow. Just my experience, this is just how the Sigma works. Now again, that one, I'm going to set that aside for further testing. This is the damaged one. Let's see what this does. Yeah, now that definitely went into the fail, but that damage, and if you can see, I'm going to compare it to, let me find another nice example. This is a fairly clean example, and I think you can see there's no line on the face there from the ear to the eye. And this one is fairly clearly some damage there. So I'm going to try and test this in an area that is not damaged, and it's just out of interest. It tested better, but it's still not spot on. So this one pretty close to failing, or failing every test. So what we're going to do is a little more detailed testing. One of the things that I do if I test these coins further is I will do specific gravity testing. It's very easy to do. It just takes a digital scale, a glass of water, and some dental floss to hang the coin in the water and do water displacement testing. It's very, very accurate. And if these coins are not 90% silver, they will not beat the specific gravity testing. Silver is just, especially 90%. If you get into 50% or 40% silver, it's much more difficult to do the specific gravity testing because there's so many different alloys that could be in the coin or in the fake, as the case may be. And the specific gravity testing gives you one number for the whole coin and doesn't tell you the individual elements that make up the coin. So, but I don't even have to do specific gravity, because what I want to demonstrate here is the feature that the sigma has. And this is where sigma talks about using the dimension dimension testing or density testing to solve that problem with the cupro-nickel coins passing the resistivity test up here. But the second part of every sigma is called the dimension testing, and this is how it works. First of all, we take a reading, and we continue the reading. I keep my finger down, and I come down here and I hit dimensions. This is a round, so we hit round. And what it's telling me here is the thickness of this sample, this coin, is 1.72 millimeters. The sigma can read the thickness very, very exactly by doing some math on how fast the signal gets through the coin from one side to the other. And it tells us what the diameters should be with a high and a low. And at this point, I can take my coin off the sigma, I can release it, and we're going to come over here and simply measure the coin. Now, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I am exactly on the black line on either side. So this coin is exactly the right diameter for the thickness that it is for it to be 90% silver. Now, the green area here, it's hard to see on the camera once again, I think. The green area actually has a, let's see if I can zoom this in a little for you. The green area, and you can pause the video and zoom in if you want, but the green area is this minimum and maximum. So one side of the green is the minimum size, the other side of the green is the maximum size. So if I put the coin on here, oh, my touch screen messed us up. Let's see if I still have a program running if I closed it. Seems like I ran the program twice. That's interesting. Okay, so the problem that I'm having is my conductivity of my body is passing through the silver and into the screen. So it's as if I'm touching the screen with my finger. So it's better to do this kind of testing on a tablet or a laptop that doesn't have a, or a cell phone. For some reason, the cell phones, the Sigma app knows not to use the touch screen. But on the laptop, it doesn't really know I'm using a laptop. So see if I can do this again without messing it up. If you pause the video and zoom in, you can see that this coin is touching the black line on both sides, making it absolutely perfect. But it could touch anywhere inside this green, and it would still be a pass because we have these minimum and maximum range that we can use. So this coin that I was a little worried about is actually 90% silver, and it passes. If I was still concerned, like I said, I could do the specific gravity testing, which is pretty absolute at 90%. I could also put this in a ping tester. These $half actually have a pretty nice ring to them. I'm not going to get the ping tester out. I don't know if you can hear this. But these $half do have